Turkey's new Finance and Treasury Minister, Mehmet Simsek, says a rules-based, predictable Turkish economy will be the key to achieving prosperity. He made the comments after he was appointed to the post by President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, who won last month's presidential election. It's part of the president's goal of achieving what he's described as Turkey's century. Emre Boz reports.
A new dawn, a new day, and for Turkey, the beginning of a new era. With victory in the presidential elections, Recep Tayyip Erdoğan has secured another term, and his triumph has brought a revamped cabinet.
Now I would like to share with you our new cabinet members with whom we will walk together to achieve our goals for Turkey's century.
Mehmet Simsek, an economist and former Deputy Prime Minister of Turkey, praised the work of the previous government as he accepted his new post as head of finance.
In this period, important achievements in investment, employment, production and exports have been achieved.
The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development has revised its forecast for the Turkish economy in 2023, saying it is likely to expand by 3.6% this year. This figure is up from a 2.8% forecast issued in March. Turkey's economy grew by 4% in the first quarter of this year, ranking third among G20 countries for the largest growth. But the country does face various economic challenges, one of which is higher inflation due to the war in Ukraine and the global pandemic. To tackle this, Simsek is preparing new regulatory strategies.
The main goal of our government is to increase social welfare, and to be able to reach this goal in the upcoming period, transparency, consistency, predictability, and compliance with international norms will be our main principles.
Simsek has also affirmed his commitment to a rule-based policy, aiming to increase predictability and remove any impediments to growth. This will be Simsek's second stint as Turkey's finance minister, holding the post from 2009 until 2015. Emre Boz, TRT World.
Well, following the appointment of Mehmet Simsek as Treasury and Finance Minister, President Erdoğan also announced the new central bank governor, Hafize Gaye Erkan, who's well known for her various roles at US financial institutions. She'll also become the first woman to lead Turkey's central bank. Let's take a look. For more on this, we're joined now by economist Taha Meli Arvas in Ankara. He's an adjunct professor of finance at Boğaziçi University. Really good to have you back with us, Taha. In his own words, Mehmet Simsek, Turkey's new finance minister, says Turkey has no choice but to return to rational ground. What does that mean exactly? What do you think he's saying in those comments?
I think frankly, he's alluding to the fact that the previous minister tried something. They aimed to implement really stopgap measures between when Turkey was first in economic turmoil in 2018, frankly, and then the pandemic hit, and then after that, these last year of increased interest rates by the Fed, which led Turkey and other countries to have difficulty sustaining their currency's level. So those stopgap measures have either not succeeded, or the time necessary to continue them lasted much longer than they thought they would. So they have to go back and try something new.
Yes, and he also says one of his main aims is to bring inflation in Turkey to single digits. We know inflation has been coming down gradually over the past 12 months, but what levers will he or can he pull in order to achieve that goal?
Well, frankly, the European Union and the Federal Reserve have been unable to keep inflation. It depends on obviously what metrics you use to measure to single digits. But we're in this period where if your time horizon is long enough, if Mehmet Simsek says it'll take 2 or 3 years, it's possible. What measures can he use? What levers can he pull to do this? Access to credit being decreased, frankly, and increased interest rates will slow undoubtedly demand. So if there's a demand side problem, then that will slow and that will decrease inflation. Will the economy be able to sustain such measures is the billion-dollar question here. The previous government thought that it wasn't able to do so, and now I think that sentiment has changed, and we'll see if he's successful.
Can I ask you now about Turkey's new central bank governor as well? It's unprecedented for a number of reasons, including the fact that she'll become the first woman to lead Turkey's central bank. So what do you think Hafize Gaye Erkan will achieve in that role? What are we expecting from her?
Well, we're expecting really everything from her. Frankly, she's a superstar in this realm. She's very accomplished, we know that. So we're looking for her to bring not only knowledge, the knowledge base necessary to run a central bank, but also the networks and experience, frankly, that she's had running large banks internationally over the past decade here. So those combined should turn into a great central bank governor, and I think she'll be successful at doing it.
We know, according to the latest data, Turkey's economic growth has surprised many analysts in terms of how strong or relatively strong it's been over the last few quarters. What are you expecting in terms of Turkey's growth trajectory going forward?
Well, most recently, the world's second largest economy, China, just this week came out with really disappointing numbers. So there is this sentiment that, yes, we are about to see a global recession begin if we're not already in the throes of said recession. So Mehmet Simsek and Gaye Erkan's job here is very, very difficult. No one envies their position, but Turkey will have to deal with both this decrease in the value of the Turkish lira, at the same time increasing interest rates, at the same time keeping companies afloat during this financial situation where their largest trading partner, the European Union itself, is in a major recession. So it will be very difficult. There's no need to sugarcoat it. But Turkey is a country that has experienced many crises in the last 100 years. And let's hope we can roll with the punches and come out of this stronger.